Hi, in this video I have two UPSs. This is an online UPS and this one over here is a line interactive, and they are both making an annoying beep sound because the power has gone out, meaning there is no mains voltage, but the UPS is now alarming, telling the user that there's no power. Now, just to give you an idea of how loud this is, here's my SPL meter, and I'll just put it here. Look, you should measure this 1 meter away, but I'm just, for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to put it here. I'm going to stop talking. So that's almost 83 decibels just for the buzzer, and the running sound of the UPS about 54 decibels. So that is a significant increase in sound for that alarm. Over here I've got a line interactive UPS. It's a bit quieter at about 63 decibels, and in this video I'm going to show you how to forcefully reduce the sound. Now, this is not a recommended practice, it's just that this is too loud for me. So I'm not going to remove the buzzer, I'm just going to soften it, because we still need to know when there's an alarm condition. So in this video I'm going to open both of these units and I'm going to reduce the sound that's coming out of the little speaker. Obviously this is a hack rather than a recommended practice. I'm not going to disable the buzzer completely because we still need to know if there's a fault condition on any of these UPSs. So all I'm doing is I'm going to reduce it. I've taken the measurements. You saw it was above 80 decibels, and I'm going to try and reduce it by at least 10 decibels, specifically because these UPSs are sitting in an office. We only need to hear a soft alarm condition because we are very close to the units. Right, I'm going to start with the line interactive one. Right, this is the line interactive one, and I'm going to be quiet and I'm going to measure the sound. Right, so there we see it was 65 decibels. Now what I need to do is switch it off first, and now turn it upside down. I use a long screwdriver because these holes are deep. I now unscrew the 4 screws, and there's also a screw here which I've already removed. I then take a flat screwdriver and I just lift this over these 2 clips. Right, holding it firmly in place, I turn it on the side, and now I face it upwards. I can now remove the front, and top cover. Right, so there's the buzzer that's making that noise. I'm going to take some double-sided tape and just stick it over the opening. Right, that should be sufficient. Now I just need to close this. Do not touch any of the electronics. I just flip this over. And I now return the 4 screws and the 1 screw on the front of the cover. Right, so now I'll take another measurement. Right, so that's significantly softer. Remember that I only do this because I'm close to the UPS. I'm not disabling the alarm completely, it's just I'm making it softer. Right, so now I'm going to do the online UPS. Have a look at the dB value before I reduce the volume. So 84.9. Okay, so now I have to switch it off. There are quite a number of screws on the sides and a few on the back. I've got to remove each one of these screws. Right, so I pull the cover away, being very careful not to touch anything en route. Right, now in this unit, I've got to flip it sideways, and I'm flipping it upside down. All right, so in this case, the buzzer is sitting in there on this board. There it is. So I'm going to follow the same process. I'm just going to put some double-sided tape on it. So there's the double-sided tape on that buzzer. Right, so I'm going to do a first test. I'm going to put the cover back on, and I'm going to switch it on and test it. Okay, so it's now 75 decibels, which is 10 decibels softer. Right, so just by putting some tape, whether it's double-sided tape or insulation tape, over the buzzer, I've effectively reduced the sound by almost 10 decibels on each UPS. If you wanted to perform an electrical change to the sound, you could add a series connected resistor to the buzzer, which would effectively reduce the current and then reduce the buzzing sound. Remember, at no point in time am I saying remove the buzzer. The buzzer needs to be there because not all alarms are unimportant. Some alarms are very important, and especially with the UPS, if there's an overload or fault, we need to have the buzzer. So I'm not proposing you remove the buzzer. I'm just proposing that it doesn't need to be so loud, especially if it's right next to the user. Right, so I'm just going to quickly show a little mod to reduce the buzzer if you wanted to using an electrical setup, but I don't necessarily recommend it because I think I could have achieved the same outcome by just adding more double-sided tape onto the buzzer, and also changing the electrical characteristics of a UPS does void the warranty. Right, so there's the resistor connected in series. I'm just going to put a bit of heat shrink over it. Right, there's my modified buzzer. There's a 390 ohm resistor connected in series. Alright, so the electrical mod which I did is probably not necessary because you could just add some additional double-sided tape, and I don't recommend actually modifying a UPS because you run the risk of losing your warranty. Anyway, thanks for watching and cheers.